Every Kung Fu Panda villain lost. Tai Lung lost. Shen lost. The Chameleon lost. But there's one villain who did something none of the others ever could. He beat Oogway, the wisest, most powerful master in the entire franchise. And Kung Fu Panda 3 shows you it happened. Then quietly moves on before you can ask the obvious question. How? How does anyone beat Oogway? Today I'm going to show you exactly what makes Kai the single most dangerous villain in this whole franchise, using only what's on screen, and why the movie almost didn't want you to notice. Let's get into it. Let's start with the thing the movie states plainly, because most people watch right past it. Every other villain in this franchise was, at most, a threat to the students. Tai Lung was Shifu's failure. Shen was a threat to Kung Fu. But Kai is the only villain who was a peer of Oogway himself. The movie tells you this directly. 500 years ago, Kai and Oogway were brothers in arms, comrades. They fought side by side. They trained together. Kai isn't from Po's generation, or Shifu's, or even Tai Lung's. He's from Oogway's. Sit with what that means. Every hero and villain we've watched across 4 movies is, essentially, a child compared to these two. Kai operates on Oogway's level, the level above every master we've ever seen. That alone makes him a different category of threat, but it's not what makes him dangerous. What makes him dangerous is what he does after that friendship ended. Here's the second thing the movie shows you, and it's genuinely chilling when you think about it. Every other villain in this franchise gets weaker as they lose. You defeat them, and they're done. Kai does the opposite. Kai gets stronger every time he wins. His power is chi stealing. He takes the life energy of every master he defeats and turns them into those jade zombies, the little green amulets he wears on his belt. Watch that belt in the movie. Every jade charm hanging there is a master he's already beaten and absorbed. Think about how terrifying that mechanic is compared to anyone else. Tai Lung fought with his own strength, Shen with his cannons. But Kai fights with the combined power of every warrior who ever lost to him. And the pool only grows. The more he wins, the more unbeatable he becomes. He spent 500 years in the spirit realm doing exactly this, defeating master after master, collecting their chi, growing without limit. And here's the detail that should stop you cold. By the time Kai reaches the mortal world, he has been winning for 5 centuries. No other villain had time as a weapon. Kai did. That's why he's not just powerful. He's the only villain who was designed to be unstoppable. Now let's connect it to the thing from the cold open, how Kai beat Oogway. Here's what the movie reveals. In their final battle 500 years ago, Oogway couldn't defeat Kai in the mortal world. So Oogway did the only thing he could. He dragged them both into the spirit realm. He didn't win. He contained. He sacrificed his own presence in the mortal world to trap Kai on the other side. That's not a victory. That's a stalemate that cost Oogway everything. And that reframes the entire franchise. Remember in Kung Fu Panda 1, when Oogway ascends, dissolves into peach blossoms, and leaves? We always read that as a peaceful chosen death. But Kung Fu Panda 3 tells us the spirit realm is exactly where Kai has been imprisoned this whole time, getting stronger. So Oogway didn't just wander off to paradise. Oogway spent those years on the other side of the wall from the one being who ever matched him. Kai is the only villain who ever forced Oogway to sacrifice himself. Tai Lung couldn't. Shen couldn't. Only Kai. That's the proof of how dangerous he really is. He's the only enemy Oogway couldn't simply beat. But here's the part that makes Kai more than just powerful. It makes him meaningful. Because Kai isn't Oogway's opposite. He's Oogway's reflection. Think about it. Both learned the same power. Both mastered chi, the life energy at the center of this whole franchise. But they made opposite choices with it. Oogway learned to give chi. That's the whole climax of the 3rd movie. Po defeats Kai by learning to give chi away, the way Oogway taught. Kai learned to take it. One gives life, one steals it. Same power, opposite soul. And that's why Kai is the most thematically dangerous villain in the franchise. Tai Lung wanted a scroll. Shen wanted a throne. Those are small. Kai represents the corruption of the single most sacred thing in this universe, Qi itself. He's what Oogway could have become if Oogway had chosen selfishness instead of harmony. He's the shadow the wisest character casts. When the movie frames Kai this way, as the brother who took the same gift and used it to consume instead of create, it tells you something no other villain does. That the line between the greatest master and the greatest monster was a single choice. That's a genuinely dark idea for a movie about a panda, and it's right there on screen if you look. Now let me argue the other side, because there's a real case that Kai is actually the weakest major villain, and it's worth taking seriously. Here's the argument. Kai is the only villain Po beats almost by accident. Tai Lung, Po had to outthink. Shen, Po had to find inner peace. But Kai, Po basically overloads him with Qi, and Kai just pops. Some fans say Kai is all set up and no real threat, that he talks a huge game, has this incredible backstory, and then goes down faster than Tai Lung did. And there's truth to it. His actual screen time as a fighting threat is short, so maybe he's not the most dangerous. Maybe he's the most wasted. The villain with the scariest concept and the quickest defeat. But here's why I still land on most dangerous. Danger isn't about how the fight ends, it's about what the villain could do. And Kai is the only one who, left unchecked, wins forever. The only one who beat Oogway. The only one whose power has no ceiling. He lost quickly because Po found the one specific counter, not because Kai was weak. Give Kai one more minute, and there's no Valley of Peace left. I'll let you be the judge. So here's where I land. Kai is the most dangerous villain in Kung Fu Panda, not because of how his fight went, but because of everything the movie shows around it. The only peer of Oogway, the only power that grows without limit, the only enemy Oogway had to sacrifice himself to stop, and the only villain who's a dark mirror of Oogway's own soul. But I genuinely want your take, because I know this one splits people. Is Kai the most dangerous villain in the franchise? Or is he the most overhyped, a legendary setup with a letdown of a fight? Drop most dangerous or overhyped in the comments and tell me why. I'm going to be in there replying for the first hour this goes live, so come argue with me. And the real question I keep coming back to, if Oogway needed 500 years and his own sacrifice to contain Kai, what happens the day something finally lets him out for good? Because Po beat him once, with a trick. I'm not sure that trick works twice. If you want to go deeper on Oogway himself, how he may have planned this entire franchise, Spirit Realm and all, that video pairs perfectly with this one, and it's right there. Hit subscribe because we are nowhere near done with the Valley of Peace. See you in the next one.